Okay, thanks for being here to tell our story. The fourth year now, and really looking forward to Friday. This team has continued to raise the bar here. We continue to increase the talent here. I feel like I'm a better head coach in my fourth year than I was in my first year. I've learned a whole lot here as we've gone along, and I think with the transfers and freshmen that we add to this class of kids, it's an exciting time here, and we're looking forward to getting started this weekend against four, I guess, really quality opponents and teams that are going to challenge us right from the start. And I think if you asked any of our kids, they're tired of inter-squadding against the same people and practicing. They're ready to play and to show what they've got. And it should be an interesting ride, a fun journey. And this team has worked tremendously hard. They're as close as any group I've been around, maybe ever. I think the only teams I could really go back and say that have been closer are teams that have won championships, and those teams just always share a special bond. So this group is off to a good start in that regard. But obviously we haven't put a lineup up yet. They have an idea of who the starters are. We inter-squad almost each day, so they see that. But when it goes up that first time, it's for real, and we'll see how we handle that and how we handle success and failure and all that stuff that comes along with playing games that count and all that. So with that being said, I'll open it up to all of you.
Coach, you have very high expectations for this team. Your side just at Oklahoma City. What do you think makes this team a championship caliber team?
Oh, I think depth. Let's start with the pitching. This is by far the best pitching staff that we've had. We've got 5 kids that are going to get time here. Obviously, the first one will get more than the second one, and that kind of stuff. But all these kids are going to pitch at this point. And we've just got some different looks. We've got size, we've got strength, we've got speed, we've got feel in that staff. Sam Shao, what she brings a competitive spirit here that we have not had yet. You'll see that. It'll be on full display. There's some challenges with that. There's good and bad. But I like the bad part. We need it. I say bad, it's just different. She's just emotional. She really wears that on her sleeve each day. When things are going well, she rides that wave, and when things are not always going her way, which they do in our game, she has a tendency to show that as well. So that's the one thing that we've been trying to really coach her up and also embrace that. It comes from one spot, winning, and she wants to win. And I think that's rubbed off on some of these other kids, and not to take anything away from those other kids that they don't want to win. It's just it's an outward emotion for Sam. So she brings us experience in some really big games, tested throughout a season in the conference that she came from and the school that she came from with high expectations. So she's going to really help our staff. Logan Sibanek just continues to grow here. I can just think back to the first time I saw her throw, and I knew that eventually she would be a kid that was going to help us. I don't know at that point, if I knew that it would be in this role, how good she's gotten here under Coach Jeff, and the strength under Coach Wes, and the competitiveness that she's really embraced and taken on. It's taken on a whole new life. Last year she was by far in big games our best kid. She completely shut down OU and UCLA, two of the best offenses that we faced all of last year. And I think I told everybody in our banquet this last week that probably bad coaching moves by not throwing her more, and I'll wear that. But you have expectations on kids, and I just don't know that I think she exceeded those so drastically that I wanted to make sure that I kept her in the right spots, and I should have just taken the reins off and let her fail more. So when we got her into more of those games, her focus would stay really good. So I feel like I've really learned her and learned about her, and hopefully it'll help me with that next kid that we are trying to develop like we've done with her. And then our next two with Gabby Sprang and Sam Clakeley, I can't believe I'm talking about Sam in the third or fourth role at this point. And it's not a knock on her. She was second team all Big 12 this past year. She's battled a little bit of injury here in the last couple weeks in her feet or in her ankle, set her back a hair, but she threw really good the last couple of days. She's just gotten better, throwing a rise ball now. Our kids see it each day, so they're not chasing it like some kids will, I know. So I can't wait to watch her against other opponents that aren't seeing her each day. But she's really improved. We've got last year, her and Coach West they put on a lot of strength. She's down about 9 pounds from last year. And what's kind of crazy, she's just a ball of muscle. She's fit. She was fit last year as well, but maybe didn't carry that extra weight as well. And so Coach West and her talked, and they got her back down about 8 or 9 pounds, and she obviously still looks great. But I think she's pitching at that weight a little bit better than she pitched at last year's weight. So excited for her. It's exciting to see kids that are willing to make changes, and in no way, shape, or form, she's not like me. It's not like weight she needs to lose. She looks great. You know what I mean? This is talking about performance and performing at the highest level that she wants to. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out for her. And then Gabby Sprang, maybe the kind of the missing link here in a way. She's a kid that when she trots out to the circle, you kind of go, whoa, who's this? It's 6'1", it's left-handed. It comes out pretty firm. It drops pretty hard, starting to get a changeup, starting to believe in that changeup, and starting to throw strikes. And she came to us where a year beforehand she was the number 3 player in her class in the country. Got a chance to recruit her at the University of Florida. We missed out on her. She chose a different school in Tennessee, and it crushed me. I thought that we had her there, and I felt like we would have been the right fit for her. And Tennessee just didn't fit her eye after a year. So we felt like we had some rebuilding in the emotional and the mental part. The tools are there. She had some mechanical things that she needed to work through, and it still comes back every once in a while, and she'll throw some pitches that you say, how did that just happen? Balls will go off a backstop or go onto the on-deck circle. It's kind of like Bull Durham in a way. Not very often, but it comes out every once in a while, and she's now at a point where she can just laugh and adjust right away, and super excited about her and what she's done. And she's got 3 years left, so we're gonna ease her in, but I'm not gonna make the same mistakes I made last year with Logan. If those kids are going well, we're gonna keep running them out there and give this team the best chance. And then Kelly Maxwell's a freshman who's gotten a ton better here, but struggling to get mound time because so have those other kids. And so being a 5th kid, she's going to get time. She's left-handed, Houston, tough, competes, and learning. But she rounds out our staff that I think is going to be really, really good.
How do you replace Vanessa and what she did for this program?
Man, you don't, to be honest. I think we can replace her numbers. I mean, her numbers are obviously great. But we have those type of kids that can put that kind of stuff up. What you miss is the competitive spirit. You miss the everyday. I mean, she really embraced her last year. She embraced each day here, but I saw a kid that really embraced every day, knowing that it was her last days, and or her last days here, and just embraced practice, embraced walking in, Brace parking her car in the parking lot up here in this gravel road and walking in and just feeling like, man, this is what I always wanted. I think Sam Shao, she brings that. She has really embraced that same thing. Like, this is my last shot. I'm getting a fresh start. So I'm hoping that that's something that we can try to replace some of that with. Her energy is infectious. So Shippy's one of those kids that you're never going to replace her. You just hope that she rubbed off on enough kids, which is what I challenged her with last year. I think I sat right here and said the same thing. If you try to have the year that I know that you want to have and you're trying to get a hit every at-bat, it's going to be a long year. And you have to put your worth into what your legacy is going to be here. And I think she did that well. And I think that will carry on. And I think we have a lot of kids who miss her, but are trying to carry that torch.
With the pitching that you talk about, do you have to sort of adjust your mentality and how you handle a pitching staff rather than maybe things how it's been in the past?
Yeah, I think we do. I think I've laid in bed at night and imagined 4 kids throwing in one game, not because we're not throwing well, but because we have options, and because we have maybe some matchup things against certain teams, and we may want to. The thing that we really have that we haven't had is we have a pitcher who hits, and that's Shao. And so we have some crazy rules in our game about reentry and the DP and the flex and all these things that this is the first year I've had to know what those are and really know what they are, really know how to use those. And I'm sure I'll mess that up once or twice, but we'll learn. That just takes time. I've spent a lot of time with some people who have had the same thing, talking about how they use it, how you start your lineup, how you start all this kind of stuff. Like, we're going to put out some crazy lineups when I give them to John each day, but he's going to know that Taylor Lynch is not going to pitch. You know what I mean? That's just where she may start, and then I'll make the changes at home plate or whoever it might be. So there are some challenges there, but we really do have kids that need to pitch a lot. And so we've talked to our kids about this. We may take you out even when you're going well, because we got to get this girl in. We got to get her work. And I think what it'll do is it'll really set us up for postseason play. I really do. We're not going to have to, at least up front, rely on one kid to carry the weight. And when you do that, a lot of those teams tend to run out of gas late. And you can get to the final deal, but I don't want to just get to the final deal. I want to win the final deal. And so to do that, you got to get 3 kids, maybe 4, prepared to pitch. And if you look at some big-time runs late by some teams, they brought in a 3rd or a 4th kid that have pitched big innings late to win games. And so I think we've got that. And I'm excited about that.
With Taylor, she said, Taylor said she's going to be able to go run the base paths, and she's feeling pretty good on that knee. What are you liking about how she's coming into this year, and what do you see her role kind of being in the order, you know?
Yeah, I don't even look at her as hurt, to be honest. I think that probably happened about a week ago. I mean, I've looked at her as a kid. So when this happened, when she tore ACL in the fall, you know, we didn't even talk about it for about 10 days. I just wanted to get the MRI back. I want to see how bad it was. I want to see all this kind of stuff. I've been through it enough now with a couple kids as a head coach, and I'm like, I can't change it. So I got to figure out how I can spin this in her mind, how I can spin this to our team, because what I learned with Bayless last year when she had gone down is, the impact that had on our team. I didn't know that. Didn't know the emotional impact. So I was like, okay, I'm going to really watch us because we count on her. She's hit 2 in our lineup now this will be her 4th year. So that spot's like ironclad, you know. So I really watched our team, watched the way that they handled that. Thought it was very, very mature. Part of that was depth. We had depth. Then once we got the information back, she just told me, I'm going to play. And I said, okay, I didn't expect anything less, to be honest. Thought she'd try to play. So now it was, okay, she should be able to get her at-bats. I can pinch run for her and then get her back in late. She probably won't play any defense. Probably when we play these first 15 games or first 20 games and you're playing these tournaments, you're playing 5 games in a weekend. Probably won't be able to play on the back end. Probably just play 1 game. We'll shut her down and get her prepared for the next day. And now she's running bases, stealing some bags. She's not hurt. She can play every day. I think her knee feels as good as it's ever felt. I think it's been torn for a while, just not the whole way. She's got horrible knees. They've been that way before she got here. She's like old in her knees. You know what I mean? She's one of those that at some point in time, she's probably going to have some major work done. And she knows that. So, but I think it tells you a lot about her. She wants to compete with this team. And I think she sees what this team is and will be and can be. So we're just going to use her like we always have. I'm not going to pretend that she's hurt. She is hurt, but she's playing with a brace. And she's fine. She tells me each day, I'm fine. I feel good. She's running better. She's moving. She's going to start taking some balls in our outfield just in case. I suspect I'll look at her in a week or 2 and go, she's probably all right to play out there if I had to. That's just the way that it's gone. And that's the mentality here. That's the way our mentality's changed. I'll tell you what also will do that is depth. And young kids that aren't afraid to play. It tends to get people back in the lineup fast. And she's a kid who's pretty comfy in her spot here. She knows her role, but she also sees that we've got some pretty good depth, and that hey, I better go. So as long as she's healthy, which she has been, Claire's done a remarkable job. She'll slide head first, which she's always done. She's afraid to slide with her feet. She always has been, so that's not new. And she's a tough kid. I mean, there's nobody who's any tougher on her than her mom and dad. You know, they expect greatness out of her, and she knows that, and that's what's been bred into her, and so she'll have another great year.
What is that attitude from her going out and doing that the way that she is, kind of show the rest of the team, and it sounds like you've got pretty good chemistry with this group, and I'm guessing that's probably a part of it.
I think that it is. I try not to use the word family a lot. I think it's a word that just gets thrown around, and pride a lot, because just people just throw those words around. It's, and that stuff's earned. It happens over time. It happens with good culture, and I think people see her out there. I think people were very anxious when we got back we got back about 4 weeks back. And we got back, and she was out there the first day. And I'd seen her hit in here a few days beforehand. I knew she was okay. I kind of peeked in and saw her, and I was like, wow, she looks good. And ball's coming off her back good. And I think at first we tried to kind of tell her this is what you're going to have to be. And then we kind of looked at her as she was going through her stuff going, why are we telling her what she needs, to be? Let's let her show us what she's going to be. And she just started showing us that she's Taylor. It's the same old thing. She's never run great here. She's never really moved great here. All she does is hit. And so she's doing that again. She's just hitting, and just the barrel finds her bat a lot. The ball finds grass a lot. She's on base a lot. She'd hit 450, she would quit getting herself out. She thinks she can hit every pitch. And I tell her that, and I've tried to change it. I can't. It's just that's the competitiveness in her, and that hasn't changed. So I think it's really good for some of our young kids. It's really good for some of our older kids too to see, because it's like, I got a beat up foot or hand or whatever it is. I need to go. So if she can play on that brace and we know it's torn, I mean, I don't know what that's like, but I got to assume that doesn't feel great. So.
Coach, the information that we got said that you named team captains this year for the first time. What's the motivation behind that?
You know, I don't know. I don't have a. I don't know that I'm going to talk, and then maybe I'll tell myself here what that is. But we just say, yeah, well, just whatever you think I say is right. Probably on. We sat down as a staff, and we were going through a little bit of a rough patch inside of our locker room. And I'm not gonna tell you with chemistry, with just outside noise and things, and a couple of little things happen. And you see some things happening, and I'm like, you know what? It's time for us to maybe have this here. And with girls, sometimes you name captains, it can be tough. You know, it's like you have others that like, well, why am I not a captain, and why am I not this? And I just felt like with the chemistry that we've got and that kind of stuff, that we could handle that kind of stuff. One of them that we named in Elise, she's not a starter at this point in time. She's on the cusp, but she's not a starter. So I thought that was kind of cool, because you don't have to be a starter to be a leader, be a captain, to wear a C on your chest. Thought that Pennington was doing a lot of really good things. Maybe calling some people out. They were older. It's hard. Maybe just working the way you ought to work. We still have continual talks with those two about leading. I think that's the one thing that our program lacks, is leadership amongst our team. And maybe that comes from me too. And that's what we've noticed, as I think at times you have to show what you mean. And you can say things, but you have to show them. I have to live the same way. I have to bring it the same way to show them. I've gotten to a point now, my first year, I felt like we had a lot of damage control to do here. We had a lot of just trying to get back to getting these kids to have a good experience. Nothing against the previous coaches here. Something just didn't go right towards the end of their time, and it's not important now. What's important is what we're doing. And so I think I was a little bit of a pleaser in my first years. I wanted to really make sure that these girls were their experience was number one. I want to win. I mean, they know that, but I wanted to really. You have to really gain trust with girls. It's trust, man. They don't care what you know until they know how much you care. And so I think we've established that we've got their back. And so as we have morphed into this, I've got to change. I've got to get back to making sure that my attention to detail is championship level, like I know. And we've done that. It's ruffled some feathers along the way, but we needed that too. As long as they know that we pick them right back up and that we care. We just told you the truth because we care. And so I felt like we had a couple kids that could be that, and be that when they're away from us, and be that when the locker room doors closed, and be that when they're making decisions about what they're going to do that night, or what they're going to wear to a certain place. That you're no matter where you go, people still associate you with the softball team and OSU. And so I think we have a couple other kids who are on the cusp of wearing that C2. And like I told the two that have it, I'll take it away. It's not permanent. It's not a right. It's earned and it's kept. And so, we had a really good talk with Sydney just the other day, and she didn't do anything wrong. I just wanted to do more stuff right. I wanted to make more. I wanted to have more hard talks. I wanted to call people out when they need to be called out for little things. So we're really, really working on that. And I felt like at the time, those two were the two most capable of that. We have a couple others that probably need to be captains. And because I'm growing as a head coach, I didn't want to ruffle too many feathers at one point. So we'll get to that point when the time is right. I don't know if that helped you, but that's where I'm at. Okay.
One of those captains in Sydney, she talked about how much help she's gotten with Kylie Naomi. What do you think about that left side of the infield and how they can work together right there as a tandem?
I think it's the best in the country. They are with Sydney at third base. I mean, she's a high-level shortstop. So I'd put them up against anyone. And we're gonna have some problems at times because we're young there, and because it's new for Sydney. Just playing third, and we're challenging her every day to communicate. She's the quarterback of that dirt, so we're putting our communication in a freshman. Okay, so that's tough. But we're gonna learn. We recognized pretty quick that her and Sid were really good. Last year, I sugarcoated it, didn't handle it well as a head coach. Sydney probably won that job. She won that job in the fall. And I didn't want to disrupt our team, and I thought we could, with Randy, I'd just go about that and just keep her there, and we could move some things around, and nothing against Randy, but I didn't handle that well. And so when I just give you a quick background deal here, we were in the fall, and I pulled Sydney and Kylie both in. We were on the dirt, and I pulled them both up, and I said, hey, let's talk just real quick. And I just told them, I said, we got a problem. It's a good problem. We haven't had this problem before. The problem is you're both elite, and I can only play one of you at short. And I don't know who it is yet, but we're going to need both of you to play, and both of you to play well. One of you is going to have to figure out where you're going to go. So you got any ideas where you may want to go? Sydney goes, I could go to third. I said, okay, I agree. So you need to start getting 30, 40, 50% of your work at third base, or you need to be calling me early and getting some extra work. Still need to be working at short, okay? Kylie said, I don't know. I don't really want to play third. I said, okay, well, then figure it out. Well, she never moved. Kind of tells you a little bit about her. Like, she was willing to dig in and go. Sydney walked up and said, hey, I don't want you to think I don't want to play short. I said, I don't think that at all. But I think we were starting to see that Kylie may be the best shortstop. Sydney's like right there, really, really good. But Kylie's the fastest kid on our team. She's one of the strongest kids on our team. That's a combo you don't see a lot. In baseball, it'd be like a Bo Jackson. It's that kind of power. It's that kind of speed. It's crazy fast, crazy power, arms above average, gets to balls that we've never had. And Sydney was a step above that, a step above of where we were. So we've really improved there. And so those two kids have really worked together. Sydney's coached her. Like, Sydney has coached her to take her job, her shortstop job. Not her starting job, but her shortstop job. And when you have that kind of servant leadership, that's how you get a C on your chest. That's how you develop good chemistry, good culture. And that's what she's done. And so with those two kids on the left side, it's really good. We're making plays we haven't made. We have pitchers now who strikeout hitters. So now that you combine strikeouts with people who can make plays you've never made, our really good defense that we played is really elite, if you ask me. And so that's what I'm excited to watch. Kylie's going to make some errors just because she speeds it up at times, but she makes plays that I haven't seen in my time in this game. And it's exciting. So with those two there, I am really excited about what the future is for the next 3 years with both of them, and 4 with Kylie and whoever else is going to come in behind them to push them. No guarantees here. And you got to earn your job every day here. It's the J.J. Watt deal. The rent's due every day. And that's kind of how we go about this thing. If you don't like your playing time here, then change it. And that's on you. It's not on me. So change it. And when the rent's due every dang day, you better bring it. Competition does that, depth, all that kind of stuff, and we've got that kind of stuff, so it's really cool.
You touched just a little bit on Samantha Shaw's competitive spirit, I think was the phrase you used. Some of the other players called her a fireball. What is her attitude, the good and the bad, brought to this team, and how hard has it been to kind of make the bad work and make everybody understand, like you said, that it's coming from a good place?
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it's fireball now, because I don't think it was fireball the first couple weeks. It was some other words. I can't say them here. But we needed that. And, you know, she's a pump her fist type of kid. Like, she'll strike you out and she'll pump her fist and look right at you. It's kind of like a dude. You know what I mean? It's in your face. And here's the best metaphor that I can say about her. I know that she's willing to lose a game. Like, she's willing to take that risk. There's not a lot of kids on teams like that anymore. She's willing to lose a game. You know what I mean? She's also willing to win a game. And when you have kids that are truly willing to lose a game, and I mean by that is she's truly willing to have the ball in her hand. She's truly willing to be up last. Truly. And if you asked our kids, who do you want up? Bottom of the seventh, 2 outs, bases juiced. I think her name is going to be on that list almost every time. Her and Montgomery are going to be the two. And that's not a knock against our other kids. It's just who they will tell you who they want up. So she gets a lot of so she's a fist pumper. She's a yeller. I've had to tone her down at times when she's backing up a play and she's mumbles things she shouldn't mumble under her breath. And like I told her, I said, I'm okay if you mumble that. But with girls, when you're backing up third and you mumble something under your breath, everybody in the dugout just heard it. So what they do is they're like little cats. They're over here talking about it, and I can't believe she just said that. God, it's brutal. You know what I mean? And then it starts this little negative energy, and then our girls run in after we make the third out, and they run over and say, can you believe she just said this about her? And I told Sam, you can run back behind third and mumble whatever it is, but you better walk right out there and point at him and say, I got you. Here comes another ball. Make this play. And that's what she's learning. And so she gets a little bit of that talk. She's, you know, we all have this self-talk. Hers is out loud. It's just out loud. Her delivery sucks at times. It really does. And she knows that. And so, but her message is on point. Because the bottom line is it's about winning. That's it. She came here to win. She came here to be herself. And I recruited her to be herself. I recruited her to be the kid that I saw my first year at OSU when we went down to A&M and they whipped our butts. They whipped us up and down. And she did it with a smile on her face. I couldn't stand her. Make sense? Like, that's what she brings. And the game is over. The game was over, but, like, she looked at you like, you don't have a shot here. Why are you guys here? And that's what we needed here. Because we've got some big-time kids here, but we needed that energy. We needed that fireball, whatever it is they call her. So you're going to see a lot of that. And it'll melt down at times, and it's my job to stop it. It's my job maybe to let it happen some too. You know, and to see what happens and to see if those captains, maybe it's her too. Maybe it's those other captains having the guts to go up to a kid like her and coach her. Because she really wants to be coached. That's what's nuts. She's just misunderstood, if you ask me. She just needs to be coached. She wants it. She craves it. So winning is her bottom line. And she loves it. I mean, she's playing, like when she plays, it's recess. Like she walks out and that is her schoolyard. And really that's what makes her great.
With Sam and Gabby and Sydney Springfield, what about this program do you think has been such an attraction for transfers?
You know, in our time here, they've come here and been successful before them. You know, our program's safe. You know, I think we have a pretty good reputation. I kind of want to change that just a hair. You know what I mean? I want it to be safe, but I want it to, we're trying to add a little more edge. I think that's how we evolve. If you come in here, if I'd have came in here and had a crazy amount of edge my first year, I think I would have lost our team right away. They didn't need edge. They needed hugs. They needed positive reinforcement. They needed consistency. And we gave them that. And so I think these transfers see that. They can get a fresh start here. They don't have to come in here. I tell them all, I don't need you to come in here and be, to Gabby, I said, I don't need you to come in here to be the number 3 kid in the country. I would like you to get back there. But it's going to take time. It's not, nobody owes you that. Part of this is on you. Part of this is on you. You're half the problem. You always are. We always are, right? It's a two-way deal always. So I think they like the truth. And when they hear that truth, or they hear the message, if they don't, maybe they don't totally buy in at first, they feel it at least, and then they get to go ask other kids. I always put these kids with my other kids. I don't just bring a transfer in here and dominate their time here. I put them with my current kids. You guys recruit her. Tell her what it is, and tell her everything. Tell her the good, the bad. Tell her everything. If there's bad, tell them. I want them to know this is their last shot. You can't transfer again. So you only get one shot. So you better make the right choice. So I just think that they feel that. They see that. They like our energy. They like what we're building here. They love Stillwater. I mean, how do you not? I mean, it's paradise, except when it's 45 outside. You know, no beach, but it's paradise. I mean, it's great. I mean, it's a place that you feel good. You can come here and work and be around people that truly care and people that are all in for OSU. And I think they see that kind of stuff, and they see the success that others have had. And I think we'll continue to get those kids.
Last year, near the end of last year, you started putting Rock behind the plate because of her offense. So what do you like about entrenching her, because she's listed possibly as the starter behind the plate for you this year?
Yeah, I think she's earned the starting role. In our banquet, I told everybody that her and McKenzie would probably play half the games, half each. They need to both play. Rock's really improved her hitting, improved her leadership. I didn't coach her the best way, I think, this past year. I didn't get to know her well enough, to be honest. I maybe sold her a little short. I think she sold us a little short. I think it's both of us. I'm 47, so it probably falls on me. I should have noticed that and maybe grabbed her and really got to know her even more. She was a kid who was committed before we got here. So, you know, I didn't have the deep-rooted relationship that I have with some of these other kids. But that, you know, that's on me. I mean, I'm the head coach, so that's on me. So I told her that. I actually tried to run her out of here in a nice way. You know, I said, hey, look, it doesn't feel like you want to be here. And I'll be honest, I don't know that I want you here. Like, it doesn't, I don't know that we match up. And she goes, I love it here. And I'm like, well, you have a crazy way of showing it, you know? And she probably should have said, so do you. You know what I mean? And she didn't, because she's respectful. So I said, if you want to be here, I've got to see more. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you this, you give us this, and I'll be dang if she's not one of, she's a joy. Like, I've been around, every day she walks in and the building just lights up. The lights get a little brighter. And she's leading. She's a worker. She's a free spirit. She's laughing, cutting up, dancing, doing all kinds of stuff every dang day. And kind of energy that we need, and really improved. She's leading behind home plate. We got to have that. Mackenzie's probably a little bit better defender, but Rock's a better hitter at this point. So we're gonna be able to use Mackenzie late, be able to we'll spell her with Mackenzie. We play so many games so fast that if you catch your kid every game, you just kill them, and they're beat up late. So we're going to try to give them. It's a luxury that we haven't had. So Rock's really improving, really throwing the ball with better accuracy, arm strength, and she's really growing as a player and as a person.
Two seniors we haven't mentioned yet, Riley Bayless and Maddie Sue. What have you seen about them? Obviously, Riley, it's her second senior year, but what do you like about them and their leadership they're showing?
Yeah, I didn't forget about them. You guys just didn't ask me. So obviously with Riley, she tore her ACL last year. It's been back all fall. I think she's just now in the last 10 days starting to get it back, like really get it back. Like she's healthy, but I think those ACLs truly take a full year, mentally, emotionally, and starting to get the swag back. I kind of challenged her in our office with our seniors. Kind of called her out in front of all of them in a really good way. I told her, I said, you're lacking your edge, and you need your edge. You're talented, but you need edge. That's how you play. That's when you got hurt this past year. That's what crushed us, and I didn't notice it, that we missed your edge. And I said, if you don't get it back, I got a couple freshmen that think they're better than you right now. And she looked at me like, I gotcha. I think last year if I told her that, she'd have cried. She'd have gone in the tank. Now she's like, I gotcha. And I think over that last 14 days or so, it's really improved, really feeling good about herself. And then she pulled up with a quad here last week, so she hasn't practiced in about 5 days. I think she'll be okay to start. But it's amazing in 2 years here how she's grown and handled that, the injury and that kind of stuff. She's really in a better place. And then Maddie Sue is just she's Maddie Sue. She just hits bombs and makes great plays and turns a double play as good as anybody I've been around in this game. I had a buddy I played with in college named Ricky Gutierrez, and he was in town this last week, and he came by and he watched us practice with his family. And he walked up to me when we were done, and he goes, she can pick it. I'm like, she can really pick it. He goes, she turns a double play like me. And I said, better, Ricky. So, and just kind of laughed, but he could really turn it. And it was really cool. It's really cool when you see guys that see these kids play. And they're like, at times they're like, I didn't know that that these kids were this good. So she's really good, healthy, shoulder's good again. She had surgery on the shoulder over the off season, arm strength's back, hitting. She's going to have a big year. She's got protection. She's never had it. She's got protection. We have some kids in our lineup now that we really have protection. It doesn't mean they're all going to hit each day, but they are a threat. So we haven't had that up and down like we've got. So excited about those kids.
Coach, where do you see Taylor Tuck fitting in? Will she fit in anywhere in the lineup or defense?
Yeah, she'll play some. She's got to earn it. She's actually exceeded my expectations up to this point. I thought it may take her a couple years to kind of catch up to the pace. Just didn't play a lot of competitive travel ball. So you get thrown in, to this, and you bring in people like Shao and Sprang and, kids that when they throw the softball, it looks like they're reaching out and putting it right into your lap. I told her in the recruitment she probably wouldn't catch anymore. She's catching again, so that tells you how much I know. She's really improved there. Left-handed bat. She'll pinch hit a bunch. She'll get some playing time, and she's just got to earn it. I mean, she's got a couple of kids right now that are better and more experienced, but she will play, and it's kind of cool when you get a Stillwater kid. I'm not just telling you guys that. She'll play here. At some point, she'll play here. She's got to catch up, and she put on a lot of muscle mass, then kind of lost some over the break, and kind of gaining that back. She's got to have that to be great. She needs that. She needs the strength. Otherwise, she's going to get beat up fast. So these girls are big and strong. I mean, it's crazy how fit we are and the length that we have. I mean, we get off a bus, we look as good as anybody around. We're the all bus team for sure. So we got that part down. Now we just got to win. So thanks, guys.